Hello. This topic is of a particularly sensitive nature for me to discuss with you because if you do not forgive yourself for the lunacy you may have demonstrated, it can truly go forward into our lives and ill affect our psyche about ourselves. It can have a negative impact on how we see ourselves, and it can make you make decisions that are bad for ourselves. And I'm going to explain what I mean. If the narcissist, I should say, when the narcissist pokes you, and you finally blow, and they go, "See, you're crazy." How insidious is that? You're poking me with a fire poker out of the fireplace and I jump and you're going to blame me for jumping? I don't think so. And here's the thing, okay? When they start telling you you're nuts because of the way that you're behaving, and you're behaving in a way in response to something they did, and they try to tell you you're nuts, that's infuriating and makes me more nuts. And sometimes it even happens, it may, for you, have happened in public and in front of people. And then he's like, "See, she's crazy." They have no idea what he's done to you to get you to that point, what he may have just whispered to you to get you to that point, what he may have been talking to you about before you went to the event, what you might have discovered before the event. People have zero idea. So you're losing it, and they're using that as evidence to show, see? Here's the thing. The danger in beating yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. The danger in that, it's a very dangerous place for us to be, because you will then go into your own cycle of, you acted nuts. They make you feel guilty and bad for acting nuts. They'll do it. They'll mind control you. "How could you treat me that way? I love you so much. I said that I was sorry. You didn't have to get that way. I'll do anything you say, and just please stop yelling, stop," whatever they're going to say, right? So now you feel guilty, and you find yourself saying you're sorry. You forget that the transgression, the topic is no longer even on what went wrong. The topic has now conveniently shifted to your behavior. For you as well. Because you're feeling guilty. You're feeling bad that you got so crazy. Because I do believe, and I've said it many times, that I kind of wish I kept my temper in check. Because all it did was make me upset. It wasn't going to change anything. It was going to have no effect on him. So all I did was get myself crazy. Your blood pressure rises. Maybe you're going to get sick. You don't eat. Things can happen. Why get ourselves that way? To no avail. There's going to be zero positive change. Zero positive change will come. I don't care how crazy you get. The crazier you get, you're going to inflict change. No, you're not. No, you're not. So now there you are in the cycle. You feel guilty because he mind controlled you into feeling bad for treating him that way. You forget about why you're upset in the first place, or you put it on the back burner. Because now he gets mad and crazy back to you. Now you're in a cycle. So now you're trying to calm him down. You're saying sorry. And then the magic happens for them. You feel, this is their sweet spot. You start to feel, well, I guess I have to stay. he's seen this side of me and he's telling me he still loves me, because of course that's what they're saying. Calm down, I love you. Or they're fighting with you, but afterwards with the love bombing to get you back, they're going to say they still love you. So now that sweet spot for them is you thinking, nobody else would love me. Look how crazy I got. Look what crazy I got. I'm so sorry I did that. I'm so sorry I said those things. I'm so sorry I, screamed at you. Or I'm so sorry whatever. And now you're feeling bad. And you're feeling beholden to them because they've seen this ugly side of you and nobody else would accept that ugly side of you, and they love you anyway. First of all, they don't love anybody but themselves. They can't. They're not capable of love, because with love comes empathy and they don't have any. So let's just get that straight right now. You might say, well, in any possible way that he could love somebody, I believe he loves me. Okay, but just because you got crazy with them doesn't mean you would with other people. And again, I'm not, to say they got you there. You made me do this. We do have responsibility and control over our own responses. Although in the middle of that kind of situation, I went berserk. I didn't feel in control of anything. I'd like to think now I would be, which is why I'm talking about this. I'd like you to try to think and try to keep yourself in control. Don't let it get you to the point. We have to forgive, because it'll get you to the point that you start to think, I'm begging for forgiveness from them for how I behaved. I'm a monster. He loves me anyway. I shouldn't have behaved like that. I should have had more control over my reaction. Part of this is my fault. I'm to blame too. Look how nuts I got. I could have maintained a sense of calm. I didn't. Does any of that sound familiar? It's a very, very dangerous zone of forcing us to stay and accept more bad treatment. Some people even go so far as they'll accept more bad treatment more readily as punishment for how insane they got. I was such a lunatic, I deserve him yelling back at me. I'm such a lunatic right here, I deserve him screaming back at me. Leaving, slamming the door, calling other women right in front of me, or 2 seconds later, because look how I made him feel. I made him feel emasculated. I made him feel this way. I made him feel that way. Which emasculation isn't the route that I would go in a fight, but I've seen women do it. They want to strip down that man to make him feel less than nothing. My route was, I'd try to go for the heart. I would try to, how could you, and all this. But I would be nuts. But whatever you do, they have a tremendous, cunning, manipulative, sneaky way of making you feel that your lunacy is not only the cause of the problem, they conveniently forget the problem and they just concentrate on the lunacy. I wouldn't do this if you didn't get like this. You would never get like this. You don't go through life lunatic, do you? I mean, if you have, like I've said this before, if you have anger management issues, that's a different thing, okay? I'm talking about in the normal course of life. I don't go through life with a temper. Go through life with a temper? The last time I yelled in my life was at the narcissist. That's months and months ago. Like, I don't go through life like that. He made me get that way is also a dangerous sentence, because I will take responsibility that I was the one that blew up. And I hope in the future, if it ever happens, that I can control my responses. And yes, if you could take Renee now, who's knowledgeable, and plop her into like 18 months ago, I'd like to think I would behave differently. And that's what I'm trying to help you do. Don't let your blood pressure go up. Don't even give him that satisfaction and all of those things. But for the most important part is you have to forgive yourself. Don't hold on to that like you're broken and you're malfunctioning, and they'll make you feel all those things. Who's going to take you now? Look at you. Who's going to love you? I love you anyway, you crazy person. Get over here. Oh, they'll make it charming. No. Forgive yourself. Move past it. So you went nuts. Okay, so what? It doesn't mean that you're like that in life. It doesn't mean that that's your lot in life to now accept this person because they're the only person that'll accept you that way. The behavior they exhibited led you there. Whether you chose to remain calm, whether you chose to blow up, whether you blew up because you were out of control, out of your emotion, it happens. The things they do are really, really bad. It happens. Okay, so what? You can choose not to do it again. Just because you did it once doesn't mean it has to be your pattern from here to four. You can suddenly choose not to engage. Nope. Not going there anymore. You can make that decision. I finally did. There was a point at which I said, I'm no longer wasting that kind of exacerbation on this person. They're not worth it. It results in nothing. It only exhausts me. And of course, the more upset you get, the more upset you get. Right? You're all twisted up. Your day is ruined. Your work is ruined. Your night with your friends is going to be ruined. Your visit with your family the next day is ruined. This stuff is on your mind now. It got dramatic. You were up all night fighting. Don't let it happen. And if you did, forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. You have to find a way. Do not exist in the place where they have the power because you're feeling guilty over how you got. That gives them power to now manipulate you into apologizing to them, begging them not to leave you. Because you're thinking no one would have me. Don't let that happen. The narcissist relationship and the fights that you get into and the lunacy that ensues is a very unique blend. It's a perfect storm of malfunction. And I doubt in any other place in your life you're exhibiting the same behavior. And like I said, if you are, then you might want to get that checked. But if you're not, and it's isolated, this behavior that you exhibit is isolated with this narcissist, well, that should tell you something. Forgive yourself. And I don't even want to say something as trite as, well, they probably deserved it. Although I'm sure that they did deserve it, right? Because the narcissist does deplorable things. And I'm not like tit for tat, like they did this, so you have a right to yell at them and scream at them. But you bet your sweet Bippy if they betray you, of course you're going to go berserk. I cannot believe some of the things that my narcissist told me he did to his wives behind their backs and then they found out. His wives, with whom he had children, they were keeping his home, taking care of his spawn, and he was doing things to them. I can't imagine how berserk I would have gotten. Can't imagine. And I hope they would forgive themselves, because that'll bring anyone to the brink of insanity. I'd like you to realize that the way that you behaved does not mean you're a lunatic. If you displayed lunacy, it doesn't make you a lunatic. It means that you are in an unfathomable situation of pain and anguish and angst and torture continuously, and everybody has their breaking point. You're only human, and I guess it's pardon me, only natural that eventually you blow. I can't imagine anyone remaining calm through everything that he put me through. Now, in the future, I'm going to stop things long before that ever gets to that point. I'm going to hopefully see them coming long before then, and at the first hint of anything dysfunctional, bye-bye. 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 No, I'm fine. Goodbye. I'm okay. Goodbye. I hope I don't get myself that way. But I know that if I did, if somebody mistreated me, and I had a little bout, because I told you I do have a temper, I admit it. I've been working on it for 35 years. Doesn't come out unless somebody lashes out at me. I don't walk through life with a temper, yelling at like the person at like the drugstore for no reason. It's got to be a deep thing that somebody comes at me. Yeah, then I'm going to get crazy and mean, and sure, absolutely. But I've worked on that. So in other areas of my life, I'm much more calm. I used to be a very nervous, anxious person when I was like a 20-year-old kid. Everything made me like kind of like I was stressed. I was in college. I was working. Had no time. I was very much like tightly wound. But that ended 35 years ago. I haven't been tightly wound like that, but I have had temper problems that I've worked on for decades. And they stay isolated to within a person like the narcissist that brought it out. I've forgiven myself. Absolutely. I'm not carrying that forward and making me feel like I'm a bad person because I acted that way or I blew up. So, oh my God, I need to stay with that person. Nobody else will love me. No way. You have to forgive yourself. You're all right. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move forward. Don't hang on to it and be guilty. Do not. Please forgive yourself.